Social media is most definitely not the only way to grow your business. And in today's episode, we're talking about the importance of creating a visibility strategy to 10x your growth.
Hey, I'm Amanda, and welcome to the Best Damn Coach podcast, where I will teach you how to coach yourself, how to coach your clients, and how to run your coaching business. The number one goal of this show, though, is to help you be the best damn coach you can be so your clients go out and tell the world about you. So let's do the damn thing.
Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to invite you to come join some of the best damn coaches out there. That is what we are creating inside the BDC. And this month, we are offering some freaking awesome bonuses when you join us, including a one-to-one strategy session with me where we focus on anything in your business that is keeping you stuck. 2, we are calling them lifeline calls, but we are giving you bonus lifeline calls. It's kind of like phone a friend when you're in an emergency, when you're just like sitting in your stuff, or maybe you're in a mid-launch, or you just have a really tough client issue happening. We are offering lifeline calls to you when you join. So you can reach out to me, and within 48 hours, I will be there with you to support you. And man, I wish honestly that this would have been an offering to me at points in my business, because I have desperately needed this. In addition to that, we're also giving you access to the 4 steps to creating a successful financial plan inside your business. We want you, the moment you make your first dollar, to know what you should be doing with it, what taxes look like, what kind of accounts you should be putting it in, how much money should be saved for, investing in your business versus what you pay. Those like really simple questions that we get so far in business that we forget to answer for ourselves. So we have amazing bonuses right now. We want you to become a part of a community of talented coaches that care about the people they serve, who want to be better coaches, who want to create a constant stream of clients that are literally knocking at their door. So to learn more, head on over to amanda-walker.com/bestdamncoach, and you can see how the community is created, how we meet, everything that's included in addition to these exclusive bonuses that are available this month only.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Best Damn Coach. It's Amanda here. I hope this day, this week, finds you doing amazingly well. I am so excited to talk about the importance of having an anti-social media approach to your business growth. And today we're going to be talking about a visibility strategy. So if you are somebody that's exhausted and burnt out of spending endless hours creating social content, you feel maybe overwhelmed, or like that there's just no other options that exist for your business growth, then you are in the right place. And buckle up, Buttercup, because I have created this episode for you, which is all of you, I believe. So I'm going to be sharing today why having this strategy to grow your visibility is a key to the long-term success of your business. Because again, we love sustainability around here, and we love things that you own in your business and you have complete autonomy and control over, and social media is not one of those things. This is something that we talk about consistently inside of the Best Damn Coach. And in fact, next month, our entire month of content is focused around visibility strategy. So what you hear today is going to be the why this is important and what visibility is, and some ideas. Inside the BDC, we actually give you the tangible tools for you to take action on the strategies that we talk about here on the podcast, and to have real-time coaching to support you with it. So if you are interested and you're like, okay, I'm ready for support, the BDC is an amazing community filled with coaches who are brand spanking new, coaches who want to be better, coaches who just want to be around like-minded company. And if you are one of those people, head on over to amanda-walker.com/bestdamncoach. You can find out more about it. And right now we're offering some super sweet bonuses, as you heard just a few minutes ago, that for me make the whole thing a no-brainer. So let's get into the nuts and bolts here. I think it's very tempting to focus on your entire business strategy around social media because we are in the digital age, right? And it seems like all the successful business owners are using it. I want to tell you, I have friends who are multimillionaires, some billionaires, who do not even have a social media account. And there are other ways, there are other streams of revenue. There are other ways to do it that honestly, in the beginning, I didn't know it. Not that for me, social media has never been the only strategy ever. I didn't even use social media the first year of my business. And when I did, it was pictures of food because I was so desperately concerned about showing my face. I had such bad imposter syndrome. But social media is free, right? So it feels like an easy way to leverage. And this is not, by the way, a don't use social media episode, because I think it's a great supplement to what you're already doing if there are other strategies. If you're not doing anything else besides social, these are the things I'm teaching inside the BDC is we've got to extend your opportunities to guide people closer to you. And so what I am saying today is don't put all of your eggs into one specific basket. Now, I've recorded other episodes, similar content. I'm going to drop them in the show notes too, because if you need to hear more of this, you can listen to the episode where I inadvertently took 2 weeks off of social media and I tracked some of the things in my business to see if they changed. And nope, they didn't. You can go back and listen to those episodes. Today, I'm going to walk you through the process of how to develop a visibility strategy in your business. But I think it's important we define what visibility means so we're all on the same level playing field. Visibility means putting your face and your message in front of other audiences that you don't necessarily have access to currently. Why is this important? Because it allows you to attract your ideal clients, offer them value, and then convert them, right, into paying clients by leveraging somebody else's audience. Visibility is important for a few reasons. A, you're perceived as an expert. Automatically, when you're a guest on somebody else's platform, and whatever the way that might look, I'm going to be sharing some of those details, is they've positioned you as an expert in this specific space. And the opportunity of the people listening to build trust with you happens at a much faster cadence, right? It legitimizes you. When you've seen people's websites or you hear people's bios and it says as featured in, right? The moment for me, I got to write for Forbes was a major credibility booster because I got to write for Forbes. But it also increases exposure. Again, it puts your face in front of other people's audiences. And that is an important part of why visibility matters to you. Because when we start, if you think about business, when you start, really the people you have exposure to is your existing network, which is maybe family, some friends. Not all of those people are going to be your ideal client. Maybe none of them are, maybe all of them are. And so we want to get in front of the people that actually matter to us. And so we have to create ways to extend that. And you could totally do things like paid for advertisement where you run ads, Google ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, but that's super expensive. And I don't really encourage that in the beginning of business until you are clear, you have a working sales machine, a sales funnel. Those things can come later. But what you can do now is get out in front of people and show them what you got and show them what you can talk about that you feel confident around. And so I'm going to talk about 6 ways to become more visible, and you're going to hear them. And some of them might align for you right away. Others may not align at all. So as always, take this, wear the hat for you and see what is one place, and I'll say this again at the end, where is one place I could start? So I'm going to share these 6 in no particular order, just as I was writing show notes. These were the kind of brainstormed order that I came up with. So number 1, a place to be more visible is by speaking on stages. So becoming a speaker and sharing your message publicly in real life, in person. And I should say these stages could also be virtual. But getting out there and finding the content that is just extra super special for you and sharing more of that with the world. And so stages can come to you through your network and your connections. You might speak at corporate events, entrepreneurial events, depending on your ideal client will dictate the stage that makes the most sense for you. And I in the beginning, as I've been doing more and more stage work, is I like to say yes to a lot of things because you just might be surprised. I never thought that I'd be finding myself speaking on a lot of real estate stages and in real estate communities, but I've naturally attracted that because I've done a lot of work in that world as a corporate coach for them. But I love it. And I know that world really well as well. So you never really know what might come of it. And so stages, again, you are one to many, right? And on some stages, you have the opportunity to even pitch an offer. Might be a paid for, you get to mention your program, or you could also just mention your opt-in, your freebie, give a call to action to come follow you. And this is such a powerful opportunity for you to grow your audience. And sometimes paid events are when you go to speak, they are free. You don't get paid necessarily, but what you do get is access to the audience to be able to pitch the call to action. And that's where the beauty of growth comes from. These stages could also be virtual. So there might be events that you can speak at, like summits or other online events that might make sense for you specifically. And I think these are great opportunities to extend your reach. Number 2 are podcasts. This has been a super effective way for me to grow my reach. And I hear people have found me and followed me from many podcasts. And I want to share a story of one of my clients who's amazing. She was very resistant to this whole idea in the beginning, right? Faced a little bit of imposter syndrome. She's kind of a new coach. And I was like, yeah, but what you're talking about is pretty special. And about 50% of the world is struggling with it. And like, we need to be talking more about this. And she was a one-to-one client and then also is now a part of the BDC. And so together, what we did was create a pitch strategy for her. So this is part of the visibility work that we do inside the BDC. We help you cultivate these things. I do this with my one-to-one clients often. We look at like, what are the main struggle points of your people? And how can we put you in front of more audiences to speak on this? And so we created that for her. And she got on her first podcast. And what's been interesting is from that podcast, that one podcast, it's generated multiple clients from her. And the beauty about podcasts is they're evergreen, which means that content hangs out there forever. So remember, like when I release this episode, not everybody's listening today. Some people will listen later in the week, but sometimes people will listen months and months and months down the way. And those client leads can continue to come. So you're leveraging somebody else's evergreen content. This is especially great when you're starting out, like you don't have a podcast yet. Maybe you don't want to start a podcast. Maybe your audience is small, which we all start with. How beautiful is it that you can create relationships with people and your audience becomes their audience and vice versa? Podcast swaps as well. So if you have a podcast, this is a great way to leverage to be on other podcasts, is this synergistic mutualistic swap. And so if it makes sense, their content can come to you and vice versa. And it's a great way to build up audiences. I think it's important to say that this can happen when you choose to adopt the rising tides lift all ships mentality. I've had opportunities where I've pitched myself and people were like, no, your content seems too close. You can't be on our show. And I feel like that's unfortunate for them because I believe that even if we're similar, people's energy are going to align with different voices, different philosophies. And so that's why I have people on my show sometimes that runs, pretty parallel to what I do. And I just believe like they were put in your ear, to guide you. And that's okay. It's ultimately we're about service. But in both of these situations, what happens is, again, you have an opportunity at the end of the show or throughout the show to give a call to action for them to continue with you in some way, whether it's a free resource, social media following, send you an email, book a call, whatever those things are. This is a great way to, again, extend your reach. Imagine if they even had 20 people that listen every week and you got to be in 20 new ears and maybe one of those people shared with somebody else that needed it, right? This is how that ripple effect and why visibility is so potent. And so imagine if you guested on even one podcast a month and you did 12 interviews this year or one a week. Imagine if you did one a week and you got to be on 52 podcasts. That's our goal for this year specifically. I want to be recording at least one guest show a month or a week, 50 by the end of the year. And we're already surpassing that goal. Another way to become more visible is to teach inside of other communities. So to go into a coaching community, or this even could be, I have clients that I connect the dots with. And, if they're healthy, if they're hormone coaches, they go teach in chiropractor's office or physician's offices to their people. But the idea is creating a synergistic community of like clients, ideal clients, and you get to go in there and teach something that is valuable for them. And in teaching that, again, it comes back to you. As we prepare this today, I'm going to be teaching in a sales coaches community, and she's going to be teaching in mine. While I talk about sales, I'm not necessarily, it's not the only thing I talk about. She is the queen of sales. I am the coach's coach. I am working on action taking. She's working on sales conversations. And while there's synergy there, we do very different things. And in fact, we're going to have our established go-to sales expert inside the BDC, which totally rocks my world. I'm so excited to be able to facilitate constant sales discussions with my people. But the idea here, again, more exposure, more eyes, an opportunity for people to continue with you. I would say similar to kind of the last two, I just wanted to highlight it separately, is shows, like live shows, live YouTube, live like news shows. These are all opportunities for you to get your face out there as well, and not just your voice. These work very similar, right, as all the other examples. Number 5, opportunity for increased visibility is actually writing for digital print or print media, magazines, online publications. Here's where I would just say, like with discernment, I know I'm better at speaking. I'm way better at talking about things than writing. And so you get to decide here, but there is like journalists and writers, publications are always looking for people to write. And so some of these publications you can go online and it gives you a place to submit. There are sometimes in all of these, which I'm going to talk about, is sometimes some sleuth work that needs to happen in order to figure out who to send your pitch to. And again, a pitch just means like you're pitching them an idea or a concept that can go on their show or their publication. But like, for instance, when I got the opportunity to write for Forbes, it was right as COVID started and I could see so much mindset stuff coming. So I made a timely pitch around 6 mindset shifts to make during, like for entrepreneurs during that time. It was very timely. And so it was pertinent, relevant. I was like, I got to get on this. And I was able to do some sleuth work and send a pitch and they accepted it. Also, publications are looking for consistent contributions. So if you do it well, they might be like, oh, we're looking for somebody to write every month. Would that be something that you're interested in? But again, the readers see you, they share the print, they share the digital media, and it gives an opportunity for you to garnish more following and be connected to your ideal people. Lastly, the one I want to talk about is actually leveraging IG Live. I'm saving this for last because this is like a discussion around how not to use social media. But in this case, my point being is you're actually leveraging other people's audiences to be more visible. So this is a great place if you don't have a lot of the resources developed yet, like podcasts, blogs, website, is to be able to tap into somebody else's network with just using social media. So you could do an IG Live swap, or what you could be doing is just pitching to someone like, I'd love to do a live training on Instagram if you're willing with your people. And just like you would have in the other places, you can go out and do the training live on Instagram. If you're able to like announce it to both of your audiences and say, we're going live Wednesday at noon, right? This will do a pickup. I've seen a lot of my clients leverage this strategy and garnish a lot of following. I've also seen them do Instagram takeovers. I've actually done this with a few of my clients that were inside the BDC. It was beneficial to me because my followers got to see real live testimonials and see my clients in action. And it was great, for them because they got to talk all about what they did and it brought new people. One of my clients took from just doing 24 hours of an Instagram takeover, got 5 clients just from being on my account. That makes me happy. And it got to, grow my know, like, and trust factor and position myself as an expert for what I do inside of their accounts. And so all of these 6 strategies are, again, giving you an opportunity to be in front of fresh eyes, fresh ears, and to possibly connect with people that were meant to be your audience. And so what happens and how you do this sometimes is through a pitch, which could come from email, could be in Instagram in the DMs, could be on LinkedIn, but crafting well-planned out pitch that you're going to send to them to do the value. I think one of the greatest mistakes, I get cold pitches all the time, is people pretend that they've done the research about my show, but they haven't really done the research. And those pitches feel very yucky. So for me, I really follow the people I want to be on their shows and really engage with them in social media and their stories and develop a relationship. So I'm not just coming out of nowhere like, hey, I want to be on your show. Get me on there. That feels icky. So I think there's an art to this process of understanding that cold pitches haven't gone away. I've definitely gotten yeses to cold pitches. And some of the larger ones that I want to be on do take time to nurture and be consistent around. And again, this is all strategy that I'm teaching inside the BDC very strategically. When you are a part of the community, you get to come ask questions and consistently be supported. We'll look over your pitch. We can even talk about, what to do when you don't know where to start when you're at point 0. And with this, talking about the visibility, and when I call it a strategy, just like anything, there has to be consistency. So it's not like I pitched one time this month and I didn't get anything. This is a game of numbers. If you pitch 10 times and you get 2 yeses, then we know that your pitch rate conversion is 20%. That means if you pitched 100, you would get 20 podcast yeses. And so it's important to understand that consistency will win in this strategy every single time, which is where I see people fall off. They get into this valley of quitting and they're like, oh, it's not working. It's like, well, what's your expectation? You think 100% are going to be yeses? No, you got to be willing to deal with rejection here as well. And so the beautiful thing about all of these strategies is they don't rely on anybody else's algorithms. They don't rely on changes. You don't have to pay for them. They're free. And all of these can come to you when you create a consistent strategy to grow your reach. And when you grow your reach, you have more conversations about what you do, more of your people come your way. And at the end of the day, like that's what business growth is all about. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it gave you a lot of nuggets to think about. If you want to continue the conversation with me, please don't hesitate to DM me over on Instagram at awalkmyway. That is my social media handle of choice or profile of choice. And if you are new to the podcast, or maybe you're a veteran listener and you felt like this episode was extra special, we would love if you would leave us a review. That is how more people find us. And it is also how we add legitimacy and credibility to the consistency for which we create content here. So lastly, come be the best damn coach you can be with us inside the BDC. We're offering some amazing incentives right now, and we would most definitely love to have you. One of the most important things you will ever do as a coach is ask questions. So I've put together a simple go-to resource that you can have in your back pocket as a coach of 10 powerful questions I believe every coach should know. So go ahead and head on over to amanda-walker.com/questions to grab yours now.